What is up here? It is Takealoo bringing you a Monday Night Raw review for the 16th. I just had to check out the date there because this is coming incredibly late. The webcam is new, so the video quality should be much better. But yeah, we're going to jump straight into it. I just want to say beforehand one and two things. I have got a few notes here that I'm reading from WrestleZone.com as my own notes got corrupted, and it's been quite a few days, so I'm probably going to need a bit of memory refreshing because staying up at 4 o'clock as it is really sucks. And yeah, for a 3 hour show that isn't very good. For a 3 hour show that constantly fucks you over in terms of like promising you an entertaining show and it doesn't deliver. I wouldn't say it's constantly, but it's quite often. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So AJ Styles makes his way down to the ring. The number one contender has something on his mind. Styles says, right, at this point, that he is tired of Roman Reigns and everyone thinking that he is using his friendship with Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows or Doc Gallows or whatever you want to call him to go to the WWE, well, to win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. He then proceeds to show like loads of tweets and okay, first of all, you say these tweets were full of questions. They were more like statements, but whatever. I'm nitpicking, I suppose, is my job, and I'm probably a petty person like that. So, we can go over that. Anyway, out comes Roman Reigns to his clutter of boos as usual. The crowd pretty much says, we want Rollins, as we all do. Roman says, you're not going to get Rollins. And that is pretty much it. After some trash talk back and forward, Roman Reigns, like, uppercuts and right hands, I don't know, fucking AJ Styles, then Bullet Club come out, and then behind them is the Usos, and yeah, that's pretty much that, man. And yeah, the Usos, man, oh god, like, Gallows and Anderson, obviously, they do the whole thing where they're holding AJ back from getting in the ring and, all that palaver. But come on, man, like, at what point, seriously, at what point do you have to admit that this whole thing with Roman Reigns isn't working? I mean, if they're doing a tweener thing or a pseudo heel turn, then it's probably the best thing they can do. But at some point, and at some point very soon, you have to admit this deal with Roman Reigns isn't working. He was in the biggest main event of WrestleMania. Biggest event in WrestleMania, I should say, right? And I was watching. And one of the good things about not being able to do this review until the Friday is that I get to hear all the gossip and grapevines come out, on the Monday, the Tuesday, and Wednesday, and so forth. Because I usually do it on the Tuesday morning. But here's the thing, right? And I heard on a podcast, Stone Cold said, Roman's WrestleMania 32 main event, and WrestleMania as a whole, but mostly the main event, it didn't leave you thinking, by God, there's a big title change, and I'm not just saying this because WWE, have been using this slogan or catchphrase or whatever you want to call it recently, but, I remember thinking, I'll go back as far as WrestleMania 20, maybe not that far because of certain Canadian cripplers persona non grata, but I'll go back to WrestleMania 21 when John Cena won the title. Now, admittedly, I was a bit younger then. Obviously, we all were. Fucking hell, about 11 years younger. Jesus Christ. But anyway, yeah. I thought, Jesus Christ, this is like, a new era. Like, this is something that wow, that's a big title change. And then obviously, 22, you kind of thought, wow, okay, so Cena's primed for the big time now. He's just beat, and yeah, as he was, because he went on to have that year-long and a bit more title reign. 23, okay, he beat Shawn Michaels. That was a bit blur because, we were all getting a bit sick of Cena. 24, Randy Orton retained his title and Undertaker beat Edge in a streak versus title match. I was like, wow, fuck me, man. There's two awesome champions. 25, You know, not so much again, but at least, like, you know, Randy Orton and Triple H. Okay, the match itself was a bit like plur because obviously it went on after The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. But, you know, in terms of the actual feud and event, you have to pretty much say that that was an alright match. And then obviously 26, again, like, you know, at least they had something about it, the title match. You know, John Cena beat Batista, and then the next night on Raw, Batista quit pretty much. You know, or 1 month later. So there definitely was something in it. 27, okay, that was just a mess, but at least we knew what we were getting, a Rock and Cena match. 28, you know, okay, CM Punk, wow, he's just beaten a veteran Chris Jericho. He's the real deal as a champion now. 29, by God, Cena gets the belt back against The Rock. He's been able to redeem himself. Daniel Bryan, number 30, the Miracle Kid. 31, my God, Seth Rollins just has cashed in the Money in the Bank. Fucking hell, we never saw that coming, although most of us probably did. But 32, Roman Reigns wins like we all knew he would for months. Do you get what I mean? I know that that's probably a bit long and unnecessary, what I've just done, but that's the point I'm trying to make. Nothing about this year's WrestleMania to me is memorable. You know, even with the whole Shane McMahon fucking control of Monday Night Raw thing and all that. I'm happy to see Shane sticking around, but you know, nothing coming out of WrestleMania is more prominent in my mind than it was before. You know, Dean Ambrose isn't seen as a bigger deal to me, and all that kind of shit. Anyway, The Miz and Kevin Owens both come out to do commentary for the next match, which is Cesaro versus Sami Zayn. Okay, don't get me wrong, this match was a good match, right? But me personally, I was distracted by the commentary of Kevin Owens. Absolute gold. The match ends itself when Kevin says he doesn't care about the match, gets up to leave, but then Owens turns back, attacks The Miz, takes the Intercontinental title. Miz then retaliates on Owens before he can leave, and there's beef, and Cesaro and Zayn attack The Miz and Owens. The match is thrown out, and there's beef. No contest. Shane McMahon comes out and turns it into a tag match. Miz and Owens versus Sami Zayn and Cesaro. They're doing this whole one-upsman thing, so Stephanie McMahon comes out and, yeah, says Sami Zayn will team with Owens and Miz will team with Cesaro. And should Owens walk out on Zayn, then he will forfeit his place in the Fatal 4-Way this Sunday, or at least that's how I understood it. Basically, this match was pure comedy gold, and I know when most of the time, recently at least, wrestling and comedy, you know, they are often mixed, but in such an atrocious way that, like, you know, it's just not good, man. It's in a fucked up way, man. Nah. Do you know what I mean? It's messed up, man. It's not all good with the comedy, man. I don't want to say what I'm gonna say, but all the times they took the piss out of JR, and no, WWE very rarely get their comedy right. Although it has to be mentioned, and it might come up a bit later as well. Dude, I've not seen WWE put that much effort into a promo that they did for fucking the Golden Truth since WrestleMania X7. Anyway, Owens was comedy gold in this match simply because he was doing things, saying to Sami Zayn, "Go on, son, you do it better," and all this fucking bollocks. At the end, Miz, you know, typical cocky heel thing, he tags himself in. Cesaro, he tags in Cesaro. Cesaro fucks him one up with a lovely uppercuts. Miz tags himself in again, and, you know, Miz tosses Cesaro out of the ring like an idiot. He tries to swing Zayn, but Cesaro gets back in and hits the skull-crushing finale on Miz, who then gets a haluva kick, and that is it. Post-match, and this is what I love about Kevin Owens, the artistry of being a heel. Owens super kicks Sami Zayn and then tells the referee to raise his hand as well, as it was his win. Perfect healing. Honestly, Kevin Owens at the moment is the only heel that can get cheers yet still be a heel, if you know what I mean. Like every other heel that gets cheers is probably a cool heel that has no choice but to turn face by default. Hell, we've even seen it with Bray Wyatt in recent weeks. But with that being said, it is the moment now for, Sami Zayn to probably win the Intercontinental title. So that's who I am potentially going with at Extreme Rules. I know that's like, an outsider's view, perspective, whatever. It's all good, right? It's all good. And I'll be doing an Extreme Rules preview and predictions in the coming 1 or 2 days, probably tomorrow actually, or maybe even later tonight. I don't know. It depends how I feel. But yeah, Owens is just the perfect heel. But I'm not going to waste my time going on about Kevin Owens because there's plenty of time to praise up Kevin Owens. We must admit the shining stars of Puerto Rico, and yes, they need Carlito so bad. They need Carlito so bad. It's not even funny, guys. I mean, they were Primo and Epico, right? Let me just get this right. Primo was with Carlito, then Carlito left, then this Epico guy came in, and then they were Primo and Epico with Rosa Mendes when she used to do that sexy dance thing on the apron. Then they were Los Matadores. El Torito got released, and then the Shining Stars. Yeah. Look, they got absolutely no reaction whatsoever. They need Carlito. I'm not going to bury the guys completely because obviously they are two accomplished talents, and hell, obviously, I mean, come on now, obviously they could fucking wrestle better than me. They can wrestle better than any of us probably, unless there's some jacked up indie wrestler watching this, and in which case you're doing a great job. But apart from that, no. But they did get no reaction, and it's kind of heartbreaking to see because you do know at their core they are decent, extremely decent, good wrestlers. So, nonetheless, it's cool. Dean Ambrose makes his way out to the ring. Ambrose then grabs the mic and says, he's questioned his sanity, but last week when Jericho put him in that straight jacket, he finally snapped. Jericho comes out and says, he wants you to apologize, goddamn. You broke my jacket. It was worth $15,000. I almost said pounds, but actually, it wouldn't quite be worth £15,000, would it? No, because $15K is less than £15K pounds. But yeah, maybe I could afford one yet then. Obviously not, but no. This whole Ambrose and Jericho thing is just a bit too corny for me. I mean, fucking pot plants and all this bollocks. But anyway, Jericho says he may be a millionaire, but he still wants his money back. Ambrose didn't call him out to apologize. He asked him a match for Extreme Rules. Jericho says yes, but then basically Ambrose says it's going to be like an Ambrose Asylum match, which is basically Raven's Clockwork Orange thing or something from TNA. There's fucking weapons and all that bullshit on the cage, and I'm just not looking forward to that. I mean, it's just going to be one giant spot fest, in my opinion, but we'll see. I have really cooled off on Ambrose since, the original split up of the Shield. When the Shield initially split up, I promised myself that I would give each member a chance. And I actually thought that as a heel, I thought Seth Rollins would fail. I really did. I didn't think he could adapt his style. I didn't think he could do anything like that. But yet Seth Rollins is the best of the bunch. And it pains me that Roman Reigns is a 2, maybe 3-time WWE champion. I mean, hell, put it into perspective. I believe The Undertaker's only a 4-time WWE champion. Daniel Bryan, I think he only won the WWE title 3 times. It's fucking ridiculous. It really is. He only won it 3 times. Come on, man. Roman. I was watching a Attitude Era Raw last night, right? And it was from fucking sometime in 1998, right? And I skipped 1 or 2 months ahead, 3 months ahead to like another episode in 1998 because I wanted to see like some old school Kane and shit like that. And Stone Cold was still the champion. I miss having long-term champions because when they get dethroned, it's actually a shock. When Roman does get dethroned this time, it will be a shock simply because Vince's cock is so far up Roman's arse that, well, to put it politely, Roman Reigns ain't never getting dislodged. But I don't know. Whatever, man. I suppose that will come when it comes. I can only hope Seth Rollins is coming back soon because that's the only hope. Anyway, we get Dana Brooke versus Becky Lynch. Obviously, with Emma injured, unfortunately, in at a recent WWE live event, get well soon, Emma. Like she was actually doing okay. It's sad, but Dana Brooke now has to carry this feud, and yeah, this was a good match, but I can't help but feel Dana is too green by herself and that Becky should be doing something better. But still, I respect both women, and obviously they're doing okay, but the loss of Emma really does help, really does hurt, I should say, Dana Brooke. But whether it does in the long run or not, I don't know. The Golden Truth finally, fucking hell, the Golden Truth. They finally make their debut and they lose because, basically Truth accidentally kicks Goldust. That was it. They say, apologize, dude. I'm sorry. And then, now they're friends again. I'm not wasting any more time on that. That's horrendous. I'll review all of that shit in my Extreme Rules preview. New Day are in the ring for a good segment. They have a huge box now. They actually go back in time with a time machine in the ring, right? And Kofi's Jamaican accent, 2009 was his best year. It was all good, man. The Vaudevillains come out and attack the New Day post segment, if you will. This is good. I'm happy to be seeing an NXT team get the recognition they deserve, and yet the New Day be kept strong because they can only be sneak attacked and stuff. I expect the New Day to retain, but we'll see. More shocking things, I suppose, has happened before, but we'll see. And Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, it's a 6-man tag match, Roman Reigns and all that bollocks, right? Versus the Bullet Club, or the Club, as we're instructed to call them. I'm not going to go through the match. All I'm going to say is that it is ridiculous that they lost to fucking the Usos. Come on, man. These guys were beasts in Japan. What are you doing? Like, honestly, on what level is it acceptable to have two beasts from Japan lose to two idiots? All I'm going to say about this is that they need to really smarten up their booking. It's 50-50, not even 50-50 booking at its finest. I don't know. This is crazy. Anyway, after the match, a brawl breaks out. Styles hits Reigns with a chair, but Reigns punches him in the face. Reigns beats down Styles with the chair. Gallows and Anderson get back in there, but get Superman punched. And I don't want to use the term buried because it's not the proper term, but they're getting made to look weak, shall we say. Anyway, Styles picks up the chair again and hits Reigns with it. And after a few more chair shots, picks up Reigns and Styles clashes him on the chair. The only worry about this is that now Styles has used his biggest spot, so to speak, before Extreme Rules. And that's probably a giveaway to him not winning it. But we'll see. AJ Styles is by far the most over in a real wrestling, and it just makes me sad. In a real wrestling world, in an ideal wrestling, real wrestling world, AJ Styles will kill fucking Roman Reigns, but whatever. And why that didn't go on last, I don't know. But Devon Dudley runs out now. And yeah, Big Cass and Devon Dudley, you know, he runs out of the ring. Fucking Big Cass wins with the East River Crossing. It's over. It's done. Dudley's are jobbers. I mean, I don't have a problem with old talent coming back to put new talent over, and I love Big Cass, but yeah. Maybe just don't make them look so weak. I mean, it's like WWE has forgotten people can lose matches and still look menacing. Like, you know what I mean? They could still look like there's some troubles. I don't know. Alberto Del Rio versus Kalisto. It was a solid match, but Rusev attacked Sin Cara. They did that awful spot where, like, you know, they showed the person watching the match on a monitor backstage. You know they're gonna get attacked, man. I mean, why don't you just jump to the actual? Why don't you actually just jump? And Del Rio makes me bored. Seriously, that is legit why I just yawned. I swear down. But, like, why don't you just go backstage after the person's been jumped or as they're getting jumped? Then it wouldn't be such a dead giveaway. Anyway, after Rusev drags Sin Cara out to the front, you know, fucking... He gets distracted, Kalisto, which allows Del Rio to hit the backstabber for the win. After the match, fucking Rusev puts on a vicious-looking accolade, and not for nothing, man. It looked like he was going to snap the poor dude in half, man. Jesus Christ, like. It looked like they were more doing a sex position than a fucking wrestling ring. I don't know. Anyway, we end the night with the Divas contract signing. Now, I'm not against in any way women closing the show. Right? I don't want that to seem. You know what I'm trying to do here. I will, however, say that I don't see the point in trying to end the match like this. I mean, I get if you want that to be impactful, put it on second to last. My gripe is not with the women; it's with the fact that AJ Styles and Roman Reigns should have went on last, quite clearly. Anyway, Charlotte does the whole "I'm the Queen of North Carolina" thing, whatever. You know, this is Flair country. You know, people worship me no matter what. Basically, Ric Flair is banned from Extreme Rules. Full stop. If he even so much as walks to the ring, Charlotte will lose her title. Charlotte signs because she has to. Rick then gets upset and gets in Stephanie's face. He takes off his jacket. And yeah, Ric Flair, I love you, dude. But you're going from looking like 16-time world champion to 16 shots too many. You know? I don't know, man, but I wanted to see Rick get physical, man. I mean, that's pretty cool. Fucking Stephanie McMahon then slaps him, and Charlotte, you know, was walking towards Stephanie. And to be honest, I hoped Charlotte would get her, man, simply because I know Charlotte's a heel, but I want to see more character dimension to Charlotte, you know. I only see at the moment Ric Flair, you know, a fucking dismal effort where in Charlotte's own gimmick, if you will. Like, she's Ric Flair's daughter, genetically superior. And I understand that is her. I understand it is her gimmick per se. Because obviously, if you're, you know, why not take advantage? I mean, they should have done that with Curtis Axel being Mr. Perfect Son. They should have made it more prominent from the start, rather than him being fucking Michael McGillicuddy and all that fucking bollocks. But anyway, right. Basically, Charlotte needs to expand her dimensions. She needs to be a badass, heel, face, whatever. But just not like this. The Raw ends itself as Charlotte goes towards Stephanie, attempting to slap her, and Natalya gets her, slaps on the sharpshooter, and that is it. And basically, that was the end of Raw. Very less powerful ending. When I say it like that, it makes it seem less powerful, but I'm not doing that on purpose. It really was, to say the least. Charlotte is obviously probably primed to be champion for a long time, which in itself isn't a problem. The problem lies in how you're going to make effective challenges for her. The gripe is at the moment that Paige did beat her a couple of weeks ago. Therefore, you do have Paige as a potential challenger. Don't know where the fuck Sasha is. Jesus Christ. You need that girl on the main roster. You need her there like, every week. She's obviously the most popular diva. But interestingly enough, Stephanie versus Charlotte could be set a bit further down the road, which wouldn't be a completely bad proposition either if done under the right circumstances. Anyway, sadly, I'll give this Raw 5 out of 10, maybe a 4. If I was being super generous, a 6 for maybe the AJ Styles spot. But good God, man, for a go-home show this was weak. And if I didn't already have the network, there'd be no way I'd be paying $9.99 for this shit. I mean, knowing my luck, if I didn't have it and I didn't pay $9.99 anyway, I mean, fuck me, Finn Balor would probably debut in there, and that would be fucked. But nonetheless, Extreme Rules should be a decent show in itself. They got plenty of people on the show that could actually wrestle, so hopefully it'll be all right. Anyway, guys, this has been my Raw review for the 16th of the 5th. Sorry if it's been a bit laboured, a bit lackluster. So many technical issues this week to try and sort out. So again, sorry to say, hopefully you have enjoyed it. If you have, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, this has been Take a Look. Thank you for checking out my Raw review, and I will see you next time. Peace.